Alright, one last ride. I hope you guys are ready to be offended because today we'll be talking about the worst K-pop songs of 2024. So this year we had plenty of terrible tracks from both notables and nugus alike. We also have quite a few names returning to defend their titles, if you will. Now, there were numerous songs from big name artists that I thought were thoroughly disappointing, especially in the chorus department, but they don't quite reach the level of bad. Many of these songs, however, are either poorly made or straight up offensive. So just for funsies, I decided to write down the names of these songs and pick them out of a hat. Because why not? Okay, here we go. Diamond, these are the guys who made Girls Love Boys Love Girls. That track had a boisterous energy and a chant-heavy but admittedly catchy chorus. The follow-up, Zip Zip Zip, possesses none of these charms, instead whipping up a slurry of all-purpose posturing over the most generic-sounding hip-hop beat I've ever heard, which is exacerbated by an absolute lack of cohesion, thanks to the numerous ill-advised tempo shifts. On the bright side, at least it's not shouty. Nope, turn it off, just stop. As with any sort of YG or black label girl group, you know exactly how a song is going to sound before you hear it. If you can make it past the intro, which is a big if, seeing that it's basically intent on being irritating, you'll be treated to nothing at all. Nothing except for smug and soulless showboating from a group who, at least concept-wise, reminds me of NewJeans. That is, if NewJeans were a bunch of spoiled brats. The only redeeming quality about this song is the pre-chorus, right? Sandwiched between all the cheeky condescension are some good vocals. Oh, and also the fact that it ends is another positive.
She's certified freak. 10 days a week.
Ah, freak. I mostly criticized this for having dumb lyrics, which it does. I don't think we need to dwell on that point any further, but between the inane songwriting, the dated instrumental, and overall dull atmosphere, there really isn't much credence to the sort of transgressive pop-punk attitudes that the song attempts to imbue. Although I do think the various old-school horror references in the music video are a nice touch. So if you turn off the sound, you might have a good time with this one. Mona Lisa is a quasi song by Soojin that is short on style and offers little to no substance, featuring a first verse that is composed entirely of filler and also one of the weakest hooks ever conceived by mankind. It grasps at straws right from the beginning, runs out of steam halfway through, and ends with a whimper. I think she deserves better material than this.
Yeah. It's the boys.
Actually, it's A.C.E. Look, I'll always view this group in a favorable light, considering they made such forward-thinking bangers like Cactus and Callin', the latter of which is one of my favorite songs ever. But it seems like the guys are experiencing a bit of an identity crisis after returning from enlistment. This track, Pinata, is a complete travesty and a waste of their talents. I thought maybe in 2024 we would have left this kind of chorus behind, the kind of chorus that is just obnoxious for the sake of being obnoxious, but alas, its brutish claws have refused to let go. I do hold out hope that one day A.C.E. will give us another Undercover, or even a Goblin. Ugh, Smoothie. Smoothie. I really didn't remember anything else about this except for the chorus. Now, if a song should endeavor to do one thing, at a minimum, it should have a memorable hook. Smoothie's hook is memorable, but for all the wrong reasons. It is undoubtedly one of the worst choruses in K-pop history, and I say that without a hint of irony. It is the most pathetic, brain-dead repetition anybody could throw up. Even a monkey could write a better hook than this. Since we can't just have Smoothie in our album, yeah, how about you just don't have it in your album? How about you just trash it and never let it see the light of day? Excuse me if I become stirred. Actually, I'm not even mad. It's just a stupid song. Who cares? Moving on.
It's like gold.
Oh, ITZY. Couldn't you just go 1 year without releasing some nonsensical junk? Look, I'll cut them some slack because they did give us the great Untouchable and Imaginary Friend. The girls obviously have no problem with being eccentric and quirky, and I'm all for artists rejecting conformity to deliver something unique. What I can't appreciate is incoherence. That's what gold is to me. Convoluted, disjointed, and downright inexplicable at times. I don't know if much of the performance can even be called singing or rapping. It's like this drunken rambling almost. Listen to this.
That thing that you do.
What? Honestly, them joints and to a lesser extent Ryan Jun might be the most hit or miss K-pop producer of all time. Those two guys made IVE's Heya as well, and I can kind of see the connection. Unfortunately, I can't deal with the fact that gold just consists of random things happening.
Hey, hey. Click, clack, heels tap, walking with my hips back.
Look, I won't hold it against you if you find enjoyment in the song, but if you seriously think it's anywhere approaching good, you ought to have your head examined. There is nothing, there's zero artistic merit to this piece of refuse with a hollow, joyless beat, trashy lyrics spoken and probably written by a bunch of teenagers as well, promoting the kind of lavish and excessive existence that could only lead to spiritual ruin if one decides to sell their soul in exchange for extravagant material possessions. And it's completely fake as well, having these young girls talk about some walking like a boss. Yeah, total gangsters, am I right? There's only so many ways you can say, look at me, I'm so rich and cool, but YG doesn't seem to think so. Like, YG's idea of rapping is just saying words that rhyme in rapid succession without any regard as to whether they mean anything. Like, get back, whip that, they mad. Those are just 6 random words. If I got into a horrible accident and became comatose, and you played this song, the second I sensed the presence of a spending money charge, I would wake up and turn it off. This is arguably worse than Sheesh, because Sheesh was at least kind of funny and ridiculous. Clik Clak, on the other hand, serves no purpose other than to suck the life out of you until you become a shriveled husk. It's a shame because if by some miracle you actually make it to the end of the song, there's an exciting shift in energy. But at that point, it's like putting a ribbon on a turd. BABYMONSTER has been on this list for 2 years in a row now, but I sincerely hope they can break this streak in 2025. 진짜 진심으로. I'm rooting for them. Alright, let's do a lightning round.
Yeah, I'm like ice cream, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Tacky.
I'm a zombie.
Boring.
Yeah, I make it chopping like I'm children.
Lame.
I'm sweet like candy. Yeah, look, don't touch.
Insufferable.
But you've been so hard to touch.
Not even K-pop. Still sucks though. One of these days, they'll make a good song. Okay, this might be the worst song of the year.
Accent.
This is what happens when you order your producers from Temu. Most of you have probably not heard this, in which case you're lucky. So EXIN is unequivocally the most consistent group in K-pop. Consistently bad, that is. But to be fair, they're from a small company, they're working with limited resources, and it shows. This latest train wreck entitled My Idol, I'll just play it. The opening doesn't inspire much confidence with an awfully shrill horn synth, but I know what you're thinking. Come on, this isn't that bad. Just wait. Wait for the chorus, because I guarantee nothing can prepare you for this. Yep. Just the abject horror on my face when I first encountered this is ineffable. Look, I get where they're coming from, acknowledging all the seniors who laid the groundwork and inspired them to chase their dreams, but there's a better way of going about that. Sure, it's sweet seeing them rattle off the names of these legends with respect and adoration. I can only dream of one day mentioning ITZY among the ranks of SNSD and Wonder Girls. But you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and this does sound like something you'd hear on the way to eternal punishment.
This that pretty girl mantra, this that flaunt, you just touched down and out.
This is hardly a song. This is a commercial jingle that is designed to pander to its audience, taking the combined efforts of 8 writers, yet is so deficient in ideas that it barely scrapes past 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And calling this mantra is not a creative choice. It's a bit like YG naming Blackpink's debut LP The Album in a sort of lazy, self-descriptive way, because that's all it is, an extended corporate slogan.
In the garden, there's a snake crawling.
Ugh, this AI fever dream masquerading as a legitimate piece of music. Look, there's nothing inherently wrong with harnessing technology to aid in the creation of art, but doing so in a way that is utterly devoid of emotional appeal is misguided. If you told me this was made solely by a computer, then maybe I could understand. But real people wrote this, apparently, which makes me question why they couldn't at least craft an arrangement that isn't lethargic and listless from start to finish. Another point of perplexity is the fact that this was even made at all. I find it hard to believe anyone actually wanted this. In the end, the whole naevis project, or naevis, whatever it's called, just seems like a waste of time. Super Junior-D&E have had a busy year, releasing numerous singles, Korean and Japanese. Most of them were solid, but there's also this. Apparently, Donghae and Eunhyuk listened to Smoothie and thought, we can do better. And they actually did do better, because it's not as bad as Smoothie. It's just the two guys riffing over this bland and sterile beat. And like Smoothie, the chorus is unabashedly monotonous and very soon becomes unlistenable. Heck, even the set looks similar. Oh my gosh, what is going on with Super Junior? I think I might have mentioned before that they're at a point in their career where they can just release whatever they want, which is true, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to call them out when they put out dog water like this. Yes, the entire song is styled as a joke. It's a bit on the nose if you ask me. However, the joke is just not very amusing. My favorite comment regarding this was, it feels like they tried to do BSS and ended up with SNL, which is funnier than the actual song. My advice would be, check this out once just for laughs, then move on with your life. Right, I guess I should preface this by saying I have nothing against BABYMONSTER. In fact, Forever was number 18 on my best of the... Actually, I don't even know why I bother explaining myself. These people are going to dislike the video anyway. So here's the thing. When this came out, I was understandably appalled, and I thought I'm going to have a field day with this at the end of the year. I'm going to rip it to shreds. But now, sitting here, I'm just kind of numb to it all. So rather than commenting on the qualities of the song, or lack thereof, I'd like to instead focus more on the fact that it performed as well as it did. The fact that it's one of the most streamed and viewed songs of the year is, without exaggeration, indicative of a society in decline. The same culture that would make the Hawk Tour girl famous is one that would elevate this direct into a position of prominence. Any company that puts out a song like this, besides not having a modicum of integrity, is also insulting your intelligence. They're insulting your intelligence, and you're letting them get away with it. But maybe it's because, on some level, they're right. Okay, that concludes our exploration of the bottom of the barrel, as it were. I hope you enjoyed listening to me roast these songs. I certainly did. Not. Anyways, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.